Great. So we do have a slide deck overview, and we'll start with the EV Readiness team. And that's we'll introduce each other or as we speak, or introduce ourselves as we speak. We're very pleased to have Christina Botero from ComEd also joining us, who will speak through what is the program about, how it works, what you have to do to get the program, to complete the requirements of the program, what you'll get out of it. And then Christina Botero from ComEd will talk about how that fits into the big picture in terms of clean energy and grid resiliency for the ComEd territory. And then we're super excited, and probably the best part of this is a panel of communities that have just completed the EV Readiness program, and we'll be recognizing them for their EV Ready community achievements in our ceremony in August. So the third cohort communities of Countryside, Rolling Meadows, and Park Forest. I have the order wrong there, but so we'll have a panel of about 20 minutes where they're going to talk about their experiences, and then we'll have time for questions. So to keep things moving, I'm going to go over the nuts and bolts of the program. And my name is Edith Macker. I'm the Director of Environmental Initiatives for the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. And the EV Readiness Program is a partnership with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and ComEd, who is our sponsor for this program. And we have two marvelous team members who are consultants. That's Greenways to Go and Martha Dooley, who's advisor to the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. And everybody is going to speak. Cheryl is also here with us from the Mayor's Caucus team. So the program is, the EV Readiness Program, or EVR for short, is a series of strategic and prioritized tasks that help communities prepare for transportation electrification. We have resources and team support for you to complete those tasks. And at the end, we recognize you as an EV ready community at the bronze, silver, or gold level. We work from a checklist, and these are carefully thought out. We don't have time to go into details of it, but we completed the development of this task over a 2-year period with 17 listening sessions with experts and communities, and then 75 advisors on the EV Ready Advisory Committee. So very carefully thought out. We went through, this is now the 4th cohort you'll be joining. So we feel like we've worked the kinks out. And now we really feel confident in the tasks and the categories there. I don't have to read them all to you. Tim will go over them, but they're very strategic for what a municipality can do to become EV ready, that within your unique authorities and responsibilities as local government. We do have counties. We're very happy to have 2 counties who have been through the program, and pleased to welcome more of you here. So this is adaptable to county level, but mostly designed for municipal strengths and authorities. So the program, to get into a little bit more detail, those are the categories, but we prioritize everything. So there's hundreds of actions you could do, and you can make choices, you can tailor, but everybody to go through the program and earn recognition needs to achieve bronze. And this is basically your task list here. We can't show everything on it, and it's a lot to read right now, but it is 16 actions or 17?
Yes, 17.
17 things that you need to get done. Some of them are challenging, and we'll go into a little bit more detail and time consuming. Some of them are a breeze, but they're prioritized to help you prepare your own processes, educate your constituents, share information, and then you've got some policy changes that are going to be super important. That's pretty much what we're getting through. And this is considered bronze level designation. There are 70 points that are required. You get to choose 30 additional ones that are tailored for your program. Some of them sort of follow naturally depending on what you do. And you're looking to earn a total of 100 points. Tim will show you the nifty calculator that'll get you to the points. And the way the priorities are structured, we are looking, as you can see at the top of those, so bronze, silver, and gold outlined for you there. Every community needs to make a commitment to participate in the EV Ready program and to work with us to get done. And we are looking for a formal letter. It can be signed as you choose. We don't necessarily say it has to be signed by the mayor or approved by city council, kind of your choice. But whatever level of commitment, we're looking for a letter. That's required with the application. We provide a template. We require that you are a participant in the Greenest Region Compact. or that you will be shortly after joining trying to join the cohort or applying to join the cohort. Bronze are the most fundamental actions. That's what we think everybody needs to do. When you get to silver, you're going to complete all the bronze requirements, and then you have 26 more. Some of them flow naturally, really, from the zoning code actions, and then you get a lot of bonus points when you go through the fleet assessments, which Christina will talk about and Tim will mention. And then flex points are about the same. And then for the gold level, that's the gold is exclusive. So we're looking for earning bronze, silver, and then additional actions that are, that make you stand out as an EV Ready Gold community. And you can come back, we call it leveling up. We have a couple of communities that have been through that now. They earn bronze in the first go round, and then they come back and either go for gold or silver. And we're happy to have you back. You choose to what we call level up. And to get through that checklist of actions, how we get all that done. So we work in a cohort fashion, and we are assembling that cohort now. You are all invited to evaluate whether you want to participate in this program. And then you have until July 18th to apply. We are looking for 12 to 16 municipalities. We look for diversity throughout the region. We have very small communities that have done it, and we're incredibly proud of them. The city of Chicago is the big one that's getting it done. They're actually leveling up this go round. So you'll be working with peer communities throughout the region. We hold meetings every other week. They're 90 minutes each. We strongly recommend that you participate. But the good news is that if you're the point person for this project, you may not be the person necessarily to be attending every meeting. For example, we have a session on creating an EV Ready landing page, and that may be something you want to have your communications team go through, specifically, or someone that does permitting. That may be something that would be better to have designated staff, or you may be doing it all. We'll be here for you if that's the case. We do have a organized resource files. We use a Dropbox system. Martha will talk a little bit more about that, but you have access to templates and tools. Cheryl will also show you just a quick peek at what some of those tools look like to help you get through the program. We do have 2 in-person trainings, which again, Cheryl will talk more about. And then you get access to the, we're calling ourselves experts here. We've designed the program and we've been at it for 5 years. We've learned a lot, and you will be our 4th cohort if you choose to join us. Tim is technically adept, our most technical expert. Martha has vast experience with municipal processes and has become an expert as well. And then Cheryl and I know a lot, know what we know, so we're happy to help. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim Milburn from Green Ways to Go, who's going to demo the checklist.
Good morning. Everybody see the spreadsheets?
We can.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of just take a quick snapshot. Edith showed the categories, and then I wanted to break it down here real quick. To get bronze, the number is 16 actions, and silver's 24, gold's 18, and then there's a certain number of flex points. I just wanted to kind of put that together, and then I'll introduce you to the checklist. This is all Excel stuff, so hopefully you're all comfortable with Excel. If not, we will be glad to help you. And there's 3 primary sections. If you look at columns A through G, that's really is the checklist. I and J is the verification process, and then T and on is the documentation, tracking, and verification process. What we have over here, as we mentioned, these are color coded. You've got the commitment, zoning, and planning. And as you go down the spreadsheet, each of those categories come up. And within each category are objectives. So just for the example of zoning and planning, these light blue shielded cells are the objectives, and then if you explode them, you'll get the actions that support those objectives. So as an example of this, where it says classify, let me blow this up a little. Here we go, plan for community EV readiness. My mouse is stuck. You'll have, here's a defined policies, and over here it tells you which category it's in. Typically when we start, we will filter by bronze. So you just click on this button here and it isolates all the bronze actions. So for all the categories, which is basically that sub spreadsheet that Edith showed. So here we have the ability to track all the different bronze actions. And let's just move over to verification real quick. So what you would do as a community is you would, let's just say, post standard checklists, permitting forms, et cetera. You as a community would say, oh, I've posted them, and the cell lights up. And then one of us would take a look at what you've done by posting a document typically in the Dropbox. And we'd say, it's good to go. We give you a verification. And once that happens, your points are added. And over here, this is kind of, I will call this kind of Martha's world, but we all use it. The idea here is that we give you the type of documentation, what kind of help you might need when EVRCC is the EV readiness cohort community. So when you submit it, the date, then this is the date we approval, and then there's a little notes for the both parties. So we are the EVR team, and so we kind of go back and forth to make sure that we're communicating. Emails often join this, but anyway, Martha's going to talk a little bit more about that. And as you accumulate points, and maybe you want to go for silver, there's a tracking dashboard. So all the points that are required for bronze, silver, and gold, it will tell you where you are, what you have, and what you're short. And this allows you to look to see where you are in the process. So that's the spreadsheet very quickly. I think that's really all I have on that. So onward. Let me stop sharing.
And just to underscore what Tim has said there, so the EV readiness checklist guides the overall program, but it's really your roadmap to EV readiness. So everybody in their Dropbox folder gets their own checklist. And then as Tim pointed out, this is how your progress towards EV ready, gold, silver, and bronze, silver, or gold will be tracked. That dialogue is column that Tim showed, that's basically how you communicate, because we hope there will be 12 to 16 communities. We don't want to get lost in a sea of emails and who you reached out to. We ask that basically the conversation occurs here, and then we know the status of exactly where you're at, for that particular task. Martha does a really good job of tracking your progress over time. Once you're in the cohort, we'll do we'll do a check-in bi-weekly just to see where you're at in terms of like a leaderboard. But this allows us to kind of make sure that everybody gets things done on time, allows us to reach out for help, to you for help, or you can dialogue with us and say, hey, this is going really poorly, or if you're the last one to get your zoning code done, we want to make sure that you've got everything you need to get there. So that's what the checklist is for. It's also really spiffy in terms of advanced, Tim's playing with it right now, but advanced Excel and what the capabilities are. So he's our wizard with the Excel.
And also, you get to clear the filters here when you're done isolating bronze. You just click that button, it clears them all. And there's some other functionality that you'll learn, but it's a tool for you to track and also identify. One other thing I want to say is when you first join, you may have already done several of these things. So day one, you verify it, you get the points. So it's not like you're starting from scratch. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then next over to Martha Dooley, who will tell you how you get the work done and how you tell us about it.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see so many communities here. I hope a lot of you decide to go through the program. I'm here to help you as you navigate through the program and turn in all the documentation that's required to earn your points. As Edith mentioned, I worked in the community development department for the village of Schaumburg for 28 years. So I have extensive experience with municipal processes, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Next slide, please. All right, so the cohort timeline begins usually in about September, and it completes in May. So it's a 9-month period of time. As Edith mentioned, over that time period, there will be meetings every other week to keep you on track through the program so that you don't fall behind, and that we can get as many people as possible through the program. You do have to allow for time to coordinate with other staff members in your community. So one of the things that takes quite a bit of time is usually to adjust or amend your zoning code. So this includes evaluation of it, establishing the new regulations that are good for you. We want this to be for every community, their zoning code. We don't want you to do just some blanket code that we provide. And then track the code through the public hearing process, which usually takes about 90 days is what we found. Permitting takes about 4 months to get through. During that time frame, we'll establish a process for applying for and getting the infrastructure permits. And by doing that, we'll create checklists for the residents, the contractors, and the inspectors. If you want to go for silver, ComEd does offer the municipal fleet assessment. It takes about 6 months to go through that. I think Christine is going to talk more about that toward, in the latter part of this presentation today. But just know that that's an option. It's free to the members of the cohort. So we'll hear more about that later. And then also we provide some safety training for the fire personnel, and then also some training for inspectors. So during this, we'll establish interim milestones. As you go through the process during the biweekly meetings, I'll assign the homework for the next 2 weeks or whatever time frame it is, and then give you an idea of a targeted timeline for you to have that homework finished. Next slide, please. This gives you an idea in just chart form, how the things take, how long the things take. So the zoning and new construction information, the zoning code, that's really the longest part of this whole process. We talk about zoning in one of the first meetings of the cohort, early on in the process. Same thing, permitting inspection takes a long time. The municipal fleet assessments, if you decide to go through that and you're going for silver, those also take some time. We start those in about December and they take through May, into May. And then the safety and training, the cohort, the mayor's caucus will offer the free training sessions for you. And then the web page also can take some time. I know the process for many communities, you can create the text that goes in it, but I know typically it has to go through an approval process in your community. So, we'll hope to have you arrange for the time frame that takes. Next slide, please. And then when you submit the documentation, so in order to earn points for every action in the checklist, you'll have to submit documentation for it. And so here's an example from Elgin. You can see in the upper right-hand corner on the left page, they've included the action number. It's CE1. It's for the city of Elgin. This is the web link to their landing page. And then they provide the web link as well as a screenshot. And then in your Dropbox folder that you'll have for community engagement, you'll see here the highlighted one says CE-1 web link to landing page Elgin. So that's how you'll do your documentation throughout the process. And I'm here to help you through that the whole way. Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, Tim and Cheryl.
So the next question always is, well, what are we getting out of this? And I'm going to talk about it, the permit inspection process. So we look in the checklist and in the process for 6 EV readiness deliverables. There's basically we separate single family and multifamily and commercial as shown in the blue and the green. We found the single family, typically you're looking at one outlet, multifamily might be looking at, and commercial more complicated projects. So, but in any case, you have what we call permanent inspection checklist, which is a guideline for the applicant, could be the resident, the building owner, or the contractor. And then there's a permit application, which is traditional, as you would be familiar, which is basically submitted by the applicant. And then when it's all said and done, we want to make sure that some of the safety things are covered in the inspection field report. The fact is that EV charging has some new features, some nuances that we want to make sure that a new municipality just engaging in this understands and tracks it in some fashion. So we have forms and processes to support this, and we'll walk you through it. A lot of times it's an add-on to what you're already doing, and other times it's maybe a little new way of looking at things. Also, we will on the checklist, we often will engage that, integrate that into the web. So we'll walk you through the whole thing, and when we're done, we'll have a good program for permitting and inspection. Thank you.
And Tim, just briefly on the fleet assessments, Christina will talk about it, but
Yeah, okay. So basically every municipality has, some number of vehicles or a lot. And so the idea is that you have to think through what are the next steps with a given fleet if you're contemplating, and to the degree at which you're contemplating electrifying those vehicles. So there's a step-by-step process that every fleet goes through with gasoline and diesel vehicles. We're kind of overlaying what you're going to do with EVs, including the vehicle assessment and the infrastructure assessment. And ComEd has a process and a program that they offer for free to walk you through it.
Okay, and I'm Cheryl Scott. I'm the Senior Sustainability Specialist with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. And one benefit that we have with the program is that we offer first responder training that provides awareness training of EVs and EV charging systems. And we also offer hands-on training. The Illinois Fire Service Institute has taught the class, and we work to make sure that there are several different EVs at the trainings. And this way, the first responders can view the various safety features on different models, which was something that we heard was important from them when we developed the program. They said they'd like to look at the various models so that they know how to respond to an EV incident in the future, because they're all different and they all have safety features in various locations. So because the free training that we offer can help communities to earn these bronze or required points, we just ask that you let your first responders know about the training as soon as we set the date for it. And on the next slide, I'll talk about another benefit of joining the program, which is that we've partnered with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or IBEW, Local 134, to offer a free class on permitting and inspecting EV charging systems. The course goes over the latest codes and standards related to EV charging station installations, what to look for in inspections, common code violations, and more. And the training will help your community to earn these silver points, in addition to earning International Code Council, or ICC, continuing education credits. Most importantly, the training will help to ensure the safety of EV charging stations that are installed in your community's residential and commercial areas. Another valuable service we provide during the EV Readiness program is assistance with updating your municipal code to ensure it covers EVs and EV charging stations appropriately. When we were developing the program, we heard from one EV charging station vendor who said they went to a community and they were trying to install fast chargers, but the community told them, you'll need to come back in 6 months because our code isn't up to date and we aren't really ready for that. And so we just would like to make sure that all communities in the program are ready when someone walks in and they have a permit for an EV charging station. So we have this template spreadsheet that you can see on the slide, and this helps you to evaluate various aspects of your code and decide how you can fix your code to make sure that it's properly addressing EVs and EV chargers. And pretty much everyone in the program ends up making a zoning code update. So you should expect that as an outcome of joining the program. And it's also why we get started on this right away, because we know that the code updates can take time. So on the next slide, you'll see another product is that we offer template web page text, so your community can easily create a page on EV Readiness. You can choose how much information to place on the website, but the more you include, the more points that you'll earn from the checklist. And this webpage will help your residents and businesses who are looking for information, such as they'd like to see a permitting checklist to know exactly what they need to turn in when they're applying for a permit to install a station. And it has other useful information, such as how to locate EV charging stations in the community, what the benefits are, consumer resources, grants, rebates, and a lot of different valuable information for those who are thinking about purchasing an EV or installing an EV charger. And on the next slide, once you complete the program and you earn EV Ready Bronze, Silver, or Gold, we hold a nice award ceremony, which is also a lot of fun. And we usually try to hold the ceremony at a location where we can have a tour or something interesting offered after that. You might get local press for your efforts to earn EV Readiness. And we help with the communications by providing a press release that you can use, and you can tailor that for your community. We also offer sample social media posts, professional photos that are taken at the award ceremony, as well as communication materials throughout the cohort, such as materials for when you join the program and you're kicking off, or for important updates that might happen, such as if you want to let your residents know about an EV rebate that's released, we'll provide you with sample materials and social media posts that you can use.
Okay, and just I wanted to call out that the cool places Cheryl's talking about, we've been to Argonne, we've been to IBEW in Warrenville, and this summer we will be at the Galvin Center for Electric Innovation at IIT. So we do travel around the region, and we'd love to celebrate with you next year. So now I'd like to turn it over to Christina Botero. And Christina, I can share the slides for you if you'd like, or you can if you're ready to go. There you go.
Can you all hear me and see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So thank you for having me today and welcome everyone. It's great to see so many communities here today, and also great to see my community and my neighbor communities participate. And really my name is Christina Botero. I'm the Senior Manager for Beneficial Electrification at ComEd. And myself and my team are the team at ComEd responsible for anything related to electric vehicle strategy as well as customer programs. And we've been partners with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and Edith and Tim and the team for quite a few years. And I just want to emphasize, this is such a fantastic program. And I think all the communities that have been a part of it have wanted to stay engaged and have come back to upgrade their status. So it's really great to see you all here and see interest, because this is really going to help you propel yourself forward in this space. What I wanted to do today was to put in context where this fits in and how ComEd comes in. Let me see if I can pin this. Hopefully you guys, there we go. So ComEd is investing a total of $400 million between 2023 and 2028, primarily in transition to electric vehicles to support the state's goal to get to 1 million EVs by 2030. And what you see here is the first part of our plan, which ends this year, but we just got approval to continue investing until the end of 2028. And the first part of the plan, which is called our BE or Beneficial Electrification Plan, is an investment of $231 million, again, over 3 years. And we launched new programs last year to offer rebates. I'll talk about that briefly, that you can all take advantage of. And what we also do is we invest about $6 million a year in customer education and awareness. And part of that is our partnership with MMC on this EV Readiness, why you're here today. And part of that is our free fleet electrification assessments that we offer and that you can all take advantage of. And we'll talk about those briefly for a second. Now let's start with rebates. So independent of EV Readiness or not independent, but really kind of tied to EV Readiness and to fleet electrification assessments, another tool that you have is you can all take advantage of our rebates. We have 3 kinds of rebates. One is for residential customers who are looking to install level 2 chargers at home. We offer rebates of up to $37.50 for both the charger and the installation. We cover any cost that might be needed there. And for all of you, perhaps more of interest is our business and public sector programs, and that's really the majority of the funds. We offer rebates to making any site ready, private or public, level 2 or level 3 fast charging, whether it's contractor costs, civil work, electrical work, any customer cost that you need to incur. We offer rebates for that. And then we also offer rebates for fleet vehicles. So if you are looking to transition some of your fleets, we offer up to $180,000, and so that's really very significant. However, before people are ready to even take those vehicles, there's a lot of questions. how much is going to cost, how much am I going to save, even if you're not thinking of fleet, but just of charging infrastructure for your residents. Is there electrical capacity there? We offer some tools that are self-service that you'll find in our website, but we also offer what Tim mentioned before, free fleet electrification assessment. So I'm not going to talk to the details, but I want to make sure you know that a lot of these questions that you may have right now can be answered through that. And it's what you see here as an example on the very right. What's the total cost of ownership? How much am I going to save if you're transitioning to fleet? But even if you just want to offer charging infrastructure for your residents, is there electrical capacity? Where is the best place to do it? What are the funding sources and so on? We're there to help. And this program started last year, and we've seen it really ramp up. Tim, Edith, and the team have been key support for us because they are the voice of the customer. So I want to say thank you. But this is continuing. I get a lot of times questions of, what's happening in the electric vehicle space. We're funded independently of any federal policies. So this is continuing as huge support for you all. Here is the journey that you would go through if you take advantage of these. You would tell us, hey, I'm interested. We would have an introductory meeting. Then if you want to continue, there would be a formal kickoff. We would do a site visit, get all the information we need. And then in the end, you would have a report and a presentation walking through all the questions and all the technical information that you would need to proceed. So I know this is really fast, but this is really just to give you an idea that we're there. Come talk to us. Let us know if you need support. You're in the right hands. Highly encourage you to be part of the EV Readiness program. So many great resources. And thanks to all of this, we all in this room are really proud to have played a key role in the growth that we're seeing in Illinois in electric vehicles. The first quarter of 2025, growth in registrations was 4 times higher than in the rest of the US in Illinois. And so I think that's really just the beginning. We're really excited. And as far as ComEd goes, in the last 17 months since we launched the new programs, and again, largely thanks to the MMC, these fleet assessments, and all the great partnerships we have with all these communities, we've helped install over 5,000 new charging ports, over 1,000 fleet electric vehicles, and most of that has gone to equity eligible communities. But we have funding for all communities. So I just want to make sure that is clear. So with that, I just want to say we're continuing for 2028. It's not ending this year. If you have any questions, feel free to go to comet.com/EV. All the information is there. You can request a fleet assessment there. Or if you prefer to email, here is the email to start with. And I'm directly also a resource to all of you. So I hope that was 5 minutes, Edith. And I'll
Perfect.
any questions.
Thank you. And if this feels like we're coming at you fast, it's by design. When you do a kickoff, you'll get an overview and everything. We just, there's a whole session on fleet electrification assessments and working with ComEd, so you'll learn more. But thank you so much, Christina. And with that, oops. Now we get to turn to our panel. There we go. Okay, so we're really lucky to have with us communities that have been through the 3rd cohort, or in some cases have been through the cohort twice. So we wanted you to hear directly from our panelists, and they will also introduce themselves. But we've got Carrie Malfeo with the Village of Park Forest, Rob Savage with the City of Rolling Meadows, and Richard Trent with the City of Countryside. And they'll just talk through their experiences and will be available to answer questions for you. So Carrie, you want to start?
Yes, thanks, Edith. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to have the opportunity to talk to you. The reason why Park Forest joined the cohort was to definitely reduce the barriers to EV charging and expand EV adoption in our area, just like we did with SolSmart for the solar program. Also, we just wanted to have these resources to highlight internally where we needed to make adjustments so that residents and businesses can build out EV charging if they'd like. The extra benefits, well, the program itself, they do an amazing job as providing resources, slide deck, templates, so it makes it a an easy lift on many aspects. Some of the challenges with us, we ended up going through 2 cohort times just because we had a department change in our building management. So that slowed down the process. So we had to wait for the next staff in that area to help us through. And then also extra benefit was the ComEd fleet assessment that really helped kickstart our fleet electrification. We did end up, we do have some slides that we can show, but we did end up installing 2 EV level 2 chargers in our public works garage, and we just received our 2 e-transit vans. So we're super excited about that. And then with the ComEd fleet assessment, we also highlighted expansion that we can use at our parks garage as well. So we're in the process of looking at transformer drop and how we can roll out 5 more level 2 2-port chargers for parks, so they can build out their fleet when they replace vehicles. But highly encourage it. It is definitely a doable ask. The support from the MMC really help you get to the finish line. But that was our experience. We're thrilled with going through it and glad to have the bronze designation later this summer. Thank you.
Oops. I thought you had 2 slides, Carrie. Perfect. Thank you.
Nope, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. And then I'm going to stop sharing. Rob, I think your turn.
Yeah, hey folks. Glad to be with you all today. So Rolling Meadows entered this program kind of, historically it is a streetcar suburb in the northwest, northwest region of Chicagoland. And I guess all of these sustainability and sustainable transit kind of options or developments are fairly incremental. So we really wanted to kind of develop a unified framework to be able to try and incentivize and support EV infrastructure. We did adopt a sustainability plan in 2023 that listed a bunch of goals regarding or related to EV infrastructure. So this program really helped us to kind of bring it all in, see the big picture, and approach it as a single kind of project, so that we could get those goals completed, and also actually make really meaningful and high impact policy for the city. So the program itself was really kind of holistic. There are about 180 independent goals that you can tick off, but it's really modular. So you can kind of pick and choose and really tailor it for your community, tailor it for your needs, and make it as easy or as difficult for your management analysts as you like. But you have to understand going in, what is your capacity for taking on this work, because like I said, it can be a lot. If we originally were kind of agnostic about what designation we wanted to go with, and as we kind of moved through it, we were picking up more and more points, and then it became clearer that we were going for either silver or gold, and it ended up being quite a lot of work. So understand your capacity, understand how much stuff, interest in stuff, time, and also how much interest there is from the community in doing this work. There was a lot of help from MMC through the project. Staff were really available with a fast turnaround for any questions you had. Martha, Tim, Edith, and the rest of the staff were all right there with you and really giving you useful feedback as you went through. Now that said, in understanding how you need to approach it, I would say there's a number of things that will kind of help you understand the scope for your community, and it's whether or not you already have some existing infrastructure. Do you have a capital improvements plan that might include EV infrastructure, that could help you get to gold. But if you don't have those things in place, it might be a bit of a leap to go for those higher designations, but otherwise you would be perfectly suitable, and it'd be easy to get to bronze. Luckily in Rolling Meadows, I guess there's no such thing as a self-made billionaire, and we had a lot of stuff that the city was doing before we got into this program. So I think by the time we were ready to provide that documentation that we were completing things, our public works folks, our community development folks, and permitting and inspection staff were really, a lot of it was kind of already there for us. So there were a number of challenges going through this. A lot of it just, coordination between departments. Public works are a bunch of busy folks. I think in most towns they're underground half the time, and digging things up and reviewing engineering plans, and they might not want to write 15 memos for you. So, be mindful with your staff time and your coordination, but it's certainly important to be in touch with everyone. Another difficulty for me, I think, early on in the program, navigating Tim's spreadsheet was probably 20% of my workload.
I'm always there for you. Come on.
It's a work of art, and it's just, you've got to be able to triage through it. So really spend some time going through that checklist. Note that a lot of the tasks can be kind of completed in one step. Your zoning code is going to tick off a lot of these tasks. And so just kind of, you might need to restructure it a little bit for yourself, but just to structure it and order it, spend some time in there and really, really do some triage. What else? And I guess the other piece of advice I would have, look at your zoning code now. Don't wait for the program to roll around, but to start going through your zoning code and reviewing other communities' zoning codes with regards to EV infrastructure. There's probably a lot of work that you could do independently of the program that would just set you up really, really well for the program. I offer our zoning code to all of you. We're really proud of it. Take a read and see what you can pull from that, and a bunch of other communities. There's a lot of work out there, but you're going to want to talk to your zoning commissions, and if you have sustainability committees or anything like that, talk to them on day one of entering the program and work out that scope for what is possible within your community and what the appetite is for, whether it's small incremental change or whether it's more aggressive change. So I guess that's kind of all I had. I'll pass it over.
That's perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, Richard from Countryside.
Greetings. How's everyone today? So I represent a very small community in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, city of Countryside. My name is Rich Trent. I am the planning manager for the city of Countryside. Our role or approach, I'm not going to I'll probably highlight things that Carrie and Rob said because I don't want to reiterate. Everything they said is correct. Really do your homework. Really analyze what you have to work with currently, and then decide how best to move forward. So for us, our best effort was to create a team, a task force, if you will. Our city administrator was the lead, Ms. Gail Paul. We had our Director of Community Development, Mr. Kevin Wagner. We had a permit specialist, Ms. Janice Bodney, and then myself, strategizing and then coordinating, if you will, with our sustainability committee, which we do also have a plan. Historically, we were treating EV and EV infrastructures like accessory structures. We really didn't formalize any language in our code. And so our first step was, okay, which level do we want to go for? What designation, excuse me, and then how are what are going to be our steps moving forward. So each one of us was tasked with responsibilities. Obviously, I was handling or overseeing the planning and zoning aspect. And I will emphasize MMC, Edith, Cheryl, Martha, excellent resources. Those are folks that through the course of this process, if we had questions, we reached out to them, whether it was by phone or email, and we got information. The spreadsheet, Tim, to keep us on task was daunting at first, but I think we overcame that. And once we knew what designation we were going to strive for, we were all in. So for those of you who may be on the fence or maybe considering, is this something we want to do? Or maybe you like City of Countryside, you're handling it such that we look at those as accessory structures, but maybe we should formalize this. Let's get it into language. Let's get it moving forward so our constituents, our businesses know what the steps and procedures are for permitting. To Rob's point, we did look at a number of communities to see how they handled it, to kind of tailor our code somewhat similar. At the end of the day, we felt like because we're a small community, we wanted to keep things simple. We approached it from the standpoint we're going to pursue the bronze designation with the mindset that at some point in time, maybe in the future, we may consider leveling up. The City of Countryside is very proactive when it comes to sustainability. As a matter of fact, our facilities, which opened in 2019, are zero net energy. We really pride ourselves on our facility, and we want to and truly embody everything regarding sustainability, awareness, other resources, safe resources for our community. So the things that I took from right out of the gate, know your timeline on the spreadsheet, know what you need to do and how to get it before various committees. That's very important. You and only you know how long it will take to get it from point A to B. So be mindful of that. For our purposes, the first few months of this process, we really kind of talked amongst our team, talked amongst the sustainability committee, ran anything that we were going to propose in terms of changes policy-wise in our code before our sustainability committee. And then and only then did we say, okay, we got the green light. Let's go. Let's present this information to our Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals. And we did that, I feel, in a timely manner. We had language that was very user-friendly, ultimately. And I think for the most part now, our constituents and business owners now are on board and appreciating the language and the efforts that we put forth to get this moving and continuing along the lines of our efforts with regard to sustainability. So I thank you, MMC. I thank you, Martha, from my perspective, because I was one of four. Martha was very, very helpful from a planning and zoning standpoint. Not to say that Edith and Cheryl weren't.
Oh, it's Martha.
Sometimes those ladies, I had to get some clarification too. So we enjoyed the process. I encourage you, if you're on the fence, like I said, jump in. It seems daunting, but I think they'll help you as long as you're willing to ask the questions to help you through the process. So with that, thank you. Thank you, Carrie, for starting us off. Thank you, Rob, for providing enough information for me to just piggyback on. So I'll turn it back to you, ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, could I add one more thing as well? And thanks, Richard. Just moving, past the point where we've finished the program and we have everything in place. Since it's finished, we've probably had about 15 or so EV charging permits come through. And between the zoning code, the permitting inspections framework, and the online resources, I would say our process time for moving these through review has just been 10% of what it otherwise would have been. So we're already seeing the results, which is, really helpful on our end. It's busy season for construction, so moving these things off my desk as early as possible has been really, really good.
Thank you. Great job, panel. So time for questions if you have any. So we've got a few minutes here. You can chat them or you can raise your hand. We're a good sized group here. Questions for the team or the panel? Don't be shy. Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, so I have two questions. One is a clarifying. In order to get the gold designation, do you need to get everything, all of the bronze, all the silver, and all of the gold? Or can you kind of like mix and match? Like if you don't necessarily need one silver or one gold, you can use some more flex points. Or does it have to be all of those points from the gold and
It's
silver?
Yeah, for the requirements, there are, and it's not that difficult. I guess we could go back to that slide. The bronze is really fundamental, and that's where you want to be. You have to achieve all of the required bronze, all of the required silver, and then all of the required gold. And so many of those that are required for, there's a lot of movement in the flex points. Let's put it that way. It ends up by the time you get to gold, as Rob said, there's a lot of little things that you need to do to just kind of kick over the finish line. But yeah, it's meant to be prioritized so that they build on one another. And we've only implied it, but some of those things kind of come as a bundle. Thank you, Cheryl. So like say you update your zoning code, that pulls in a ton of points. You can do the bare minimum for bronze. Martha, do you want to talk about this? Because you're in zoning, just talk about how they all sort of follow.
Yeah, so depending on how deep the dive is that you take into your zoning code, if you do just two actions like identify it as an accessory structure, and I can't remember what the other bronze was right off the top of my head. I didn't expect to be called out, but
Parking minimums.
Yeah, so you do the minimums, but if you want to do a deeper dive, it's pretty easy to get a lot of points that are going to qualify for silver or gold. So like Edith said, it's kind of bundled. It's the same thing with the web page. The more things you do on your web page, you bundle it and you get a lot more points. So yeah, and Rob he was a good example because the more he started into it, the more he thought, wait a minute, I can get silver. Hey, wait a minute, now I'm in a position where I'm not that far from gold. And so, I think you'll find your way as you get in through the program and work it, but certainly it's doable. Cool.
I think one other thing that I don't know if it's been stated clearly is if you're working on bronze and you get silver points, they count as flex points.
Flex points. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and if you are working on working on silver and you get gold, they are flex points for silver or bronze, but they are required for those designation levels. And then there's a whole bunch of flex points that aren't associated with bronze, silver, or gold. So lots of choices, tailor it to your needs.
All right, thank you. My second question, hopefully real quick, is regarding some of the safety stuff. It's a little bit more specific. I'm with the Village of Woodridge, and we are in 3 different fire districts. Would we have to have all 3 of those go through all of the safety training, or is there, I'm just not sure what the proof and required safety trainings for that look like.
Yes, only one of the fire protection districts would have to send at least one person to the training. So that's the minimum requirement.
Yeah, it's tricky. We get it. And some communities have honestly had trouble if they don't have a fire department but are served by a fire protection district. It can be tricky to get them to cooperate. We're getting more cooperation. It's professional training. You know, we don't do it and make it up. We work with the Fire Safety Institute. You get continuing education points for it. It's hosted at a fire department. It's a good quality training, but we do understand that you don't have control over them if you don't.
And also, we do offer the points for if your fire protection districts have completed the training within the past 2 years. So it's possible that some of them have already completed that training, but you can also let them know if you join the program about the new training date, and they can have other employees attend as well.
All right, great. Thank you all very much.
Sure. Brianna.
Yes, hi everybody. I work for Will County, essentially sustainability staff there. I'm not myself part of our zoning staff, but I have heard from them that they generally like to bundle a lot of different zoning changes together, instead of, say, like going piecemeal for one thing at a time. And so I was curious for cohort members that did make changes to their zoning, if they also looped in any other like zoning topic changes as they were making changes to EV specific and charging station specific zoning rules.
Yeah, so Brianna, we understand that sometimes communities or counties, they don't want to do piecemeal zoning amendments. So sometimes they'll do a more comprehensive amendment, or they may go through with several different changes to the zoning code under one ordinance or something like that. Definitely you can do that, but just think about the time involved with that. And if there's other departments that have to be involved in that process to get all the language and everything correct, you know, you need to plan accordingly. But we definitely can work with you on that. And others have done it.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I'll just add, Brianna, so we have another community that is actually going through the cohort for the third time for that reason, right? So, you know, they started making zoning changes. They learned what needed to be done for EVs, but learned that this is going to be part of a bigger movement going forward. It was contentious. And so that, you know, you take the time you need on this. We are funded. You know, I'll just say we'll keep going as long as we can keep going with the cohort. So we hope it doesn't take you 3 cycles to get it done. But if that's the case, you can still, you know, get as much resources and assistance that you need for the program. And then we do try to dovetail the processes for the municipality so that it really works with the purpose is to help the communities. None of this is a gotcha program. We're not trying to hold you accountable. We really want to work with you. We do require that you meet minimum, you know, that you take minimum actions and that you document it. For example, zoning code. You might say we've got it all done, but the village board hasn't approved it. That's not good. It's got to be approved. Everybody needs to be at the same level and demonstrate that you've done the work. So documentation matters, processes matter. But we'll work with you.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? So we're at time. I do want to say a couple of things in conclusion, just that we didn't get a chance to brag a little bit about, I guess, to incentivize you to join the program. So the EV Readiness program it dovetailed on what we learned from working on Soul Smart. And that program was wildly successful, both for the communities that participated, and I have on my notes just to shout out Martha Dooley got recruited into this program because in Schaumburg, they earned EV Ready Silver and saw a 24,600% increase in the number of rooftop solar developments. Do you want to clarify that, Martha, or add to that?
Yeah, it was Soul Smart, not EV Ready.
Soul Smart. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Yeah, it was a great program for us.
Right. It worked locally. Illinois is also #1 for Soul Smart. We because we work in this cohort fashion, so we're really proud of the communities. The EV Readiness program is something that the Mayor's Caucus designed because of the success with Soul Smart, and we saw the investment coming in EVs, and that has really continued with state of Illinois, and then particularly with ComEd. We wanted communities to be ready for that investment, so that was the main reason we did that. But just in terms of how exclusive this is, we will graduate 38 EV-ready communities on August 4th at IIT. There is right now only one with plaque in hand, one EV-ready gold community in the country. there will be 4. And those of you who are gold, we're not supposed to announce it first, but you can raise your hand or wink if you want to, you know. We're super proud of how exclusive that is. And then just to let you know, there is a program. So while we led in the Chicago Metro region, ComEd region with EV Readiness, there is now a companion program. We're a part of it, but we're a little bit ahead of it. It's called Charging Smart. It's the Interstate Renewable Energy Council program. It's a Department of Energy funded program. They're working nationally. Right now, they have only 9 designated Charging Smart communities. We will, over the course of time, work to dovetail our program and integrate our program, which is a little bit more difficult. So right now, there's our silver is their gold, and our gold has no peer. So you will get, as soon as we can work that all out, you know, at some point in time, you will get a designation that also aligns with the national program, but you'd be part of, you know, an elite group of communities here. And it's just a great time to take advantage of the support that we have from ComEd to, you know, to get this and get ready for that funding before things change. So any other thing from the EV Readiness team, and those of you who have to drop off, we get it. Cheryl, you want to talk about the application process just real quick?
Okay, yeah, so I put the link in the chat, and you'll just need to create a submittable link to log into that in order to apply. It's a very brief application. There will be a letter of commitment that you'll have to upload, so that could be signed by a mayor, manager, or someone designated to sign that authorization, just to show that you'll be dedicating staff to work on the program. And so it's pretty quick, pretty easy to apply. And I guess just one more thing I'll add in regards to the number of points and the question that came up about that. I don't know if it was mentioned, but by using our EV Readiness webpage template text, you can earn 80+ points for if you were to put like every single thing that we possibly mention onto your webpage. So we do try to make it pretty easy. So if you wanted to go for gold and it seems daunting to earn those points, there are some things like such as the website template text, where a lot of it you can copy and paste that, but then on your website earn many of the points that you'll need.
And then next step. So how we get going is a cohort. We will, you know, we'll get the application. July 18th is what we're aiming for the application, so that we can announce it at the August 4th, 3rd cohort graduation. That's the reason for getting that. If we don't have enough communities, we allow a little extra time for recruitment. But we are looking to kick off the cohort in September. And once we have that cohort assembled, equitable throughout the region, we love having a county participate, hint, hint, there, Brianna, if, you know, we just like having the diversity there. We also like to recruit outside of the metro region, so ComEd helps us with small communities beyond the 7-county region. So once we get that cohort assembled, we then will work with you all to pick a kickoff date and a recurring date for the meeting. So we'll make sure that whatever date we meet on is a date that's going to work with you. You'll have a schedule of all that going forward. So that takes a little time for us to go and to get together, but then we're meeting every other week. We've got the in-person trainings that'll occur periodically, and we'll try to get everybody done for next May about this. So anyway, thank you all. No other questions. Please feel free to follow up via email if you go to apply and you have questions, anything related to the application or template letter, please let us know. Thank you, Rob, for sharing your contact information. So we're all here to help. Thank you.